And it looks like we have sound. We back on YouTube now. I said it looks like we got sound. We back on YouTube now. I said it looks like we got sound. We back on YouTube now. I hope everybody catches on to the line. We are back one time. And we talking about, can you accept that they are good to everybody except for you? Can you? Can you? Can you? Can you? All right, let's go. Let's go. What up, y'all? All right. I'm like, look, man, not today. Well, look, what I was saying to y'all in my absence and my presence was like, you know, as we get older, trying to accept the fact that somebody may not be a bad person to everybody else, even though they may not have been the best person to us, is something that we have to deal with. And it's not easy for us to do, especially as we strive to become more mature and more adult in the way that we are. And it's a funny thing when you think about it. We encourage other people to grow up and to stop acting like a baby and to accept the world the way that it is, and to be an adult and to own up to their accountability in the situation, and to try to be more understanding of other people in the way that they move and how they are. But when it comes to us, when it comes to the way that, or when it comes to our time to have to live up to the hype of being an adult, it's not always the easiest thing. Now, being vulnerable to a person, being able to let yourself go, to really express who you are and express the way that you feel to somebody else. And I don't mean just express the way that you feel in terms of telling somebody that you love them, but I mean to really show them that you love them, to really basically leave yourself open to criticism, to rejection, to hurt, to even to abuse. You, in order to leave yourself open for those things, you also have to open yourself up, or leave yourself open to being loved, to being cherished, to being understood, to being accepted. And we have certain things that we do that even closes us off to the more positive things that can happen as far as relationships are concerned. And we don't always look at it. We gravitate towards people who have been through the same experiences that we have, and we don't always judge those experiences rationally or objectively. We don't. You know, if you've been cheated on in a relationship, you often gravitate towards other people who have been cheated on in a relationship. All men ain't shit. All men ain't shit. All men ain't shit. Yo, these bitches out here, they be acting a fool. They only want to be with them niggas who got money and cool. They don't want a good nigga go to work every day, take care of his kids, and make sure he don't do a bit. They want the nigga with the pants hanging off his ass. Can't take him nowhere, ain't got no class. Braids hanging out his ears. Braids hanging out his hair. Blunt hanging out his mouth. From down south, with all that gold in his mouth. What the hell? Get out. I ain't trying to see that shit. But, you know, we gravitate toward that kind of thing. We do. That type of thinking. So other people who have had bad experiences with the opposite sex, with jobs, with friends, with family, we gravitate towards their type of thinking. And so we're just fueling each other negativity, and we think that we're counseling each other, and we're not, because neither one of us are helping each other. All we're really doing is calling ourselves telling the truth and keeping it real. But it ain't always like that. If the shit ain't pushing you forward personally, then it ain't helping. So I'm saying all that to say this. It's really hard to listen to somebody who has done you wrong, have praise heaped all on them. Like, somebody that one of your exes or one of your friends, one of your people that used to be friends or whatever, you know they either stole from you, were disloyal to you, just didn't do right by you. And you gotta listen to somebody be like, yeah, they all that, and they cool as hell. And yeah, they be blah, 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 blah. And you like, what? What? They not all that. They not cool as hell. They not good people. Yo, he cheated on me. He lied. He a lying ass nigga. He cheated, lied, cheated, lied, cheated, lied, cheated, lied. She cheated, she lied, she cheated, she lied. She's not a good girl. I am a good guy. Yeah, and I'm still fly. But she don't believe me. She treated me like I was a flea. Yeah, me? How could you do that to a good brother? You know I'm an original like no other, and I came through, and I was trying to do right by you, but you ain't nothing but a bad boo. You know, I'm talking to you. Why do everybody like this bitch? She's a stitch. Have you fight in the air? Have you fight in the air like Trey on Boys in the Hood? Fuck is you doing? Yo, you don't be attacking me for no reason. What? Look, because her silly ass waiting for me to pick her up by her scruggs again. She like, wait a minute. This is my form of punishment. I'm not doing it again. All right, one more time. Fuck out of here. But yeah. You know, your ex that shitted all on you. You hearing people talk about how good they was, how nice they were, how helpful they are, and all of that. And at some point, you might have to just concede that, yeah, they did wrong by you, by your perspective. Because sometimes, I ain't saying none of y'all, but some people I know have just as much accountability in why things went left or went wrong. Not everybody who complains about how they got done wrong were actually doing right. There are a lot of people out here who was trying to shit on somebody first, and they got shitted on first. And you know how demoralizing that can be. Look, man. Nobody complains about getting shitted on more than somebody that was trying to shit on somebody first, and it didn't work out. They be mad. They be real mad. Look, I can't believe I can't believe that I got cheated on before I was about to cheat. I was on my way to cheat, and I got cheated on first. That shit actually stopped me from cheating. So, you know, we get mad about that kind of stuff, and we don't always come forward with our true intentions, but we'll definitely come forward with how we feel about the way somebody has done us wrong. So that's what we're talking about today on the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. We do this each and every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What am I talking about? We do this every Saturday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I am your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the Well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show, and we are talking about can you accept that they are good to everybody except for you? Everybody except for you loves them, and they feel like they're true. Everybody except for yourself feels like they are a form of wealth. Everybody except for you does the things that they do. Everybody does seem to understand that person is the woman, the man, but you can't, and you're trying to wage a campaign. But I need you to step back and refrain from looking like a fool because everybody thinks they're cool. Sort of like Bill Cosby. I mean, think about who could be a more polarizing figure than Bill Cosby. Maybe Donald Trump. But you look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby meant so much to so many people, like, black people, definitely an icon of black history. And people feel like he got a raw deal. They feel like he just got shitted on because he was really trying to elevate the financial position of black people, and he was trying to do it on purpose. So the people who call themselves victims of sexual assault or whatever that he put them through, they want to, imagine how they feel when they hear people saying, man, them women was just, them women was just, them women was just, them women was just. But even his wife don't have a problem with him. So what we doing? What we doing? After all of that shit, she knows that he cheated on her multiple times. But she the one like, he's mine. You might have had him once, but I had him all the time. Yeah. He's mine. You might have had him once, but I had him all the time. All right, so he drugged you. So what? He's still America's dad. All right, so he drugged a few bitches. Okay. Like, there's a reason why y'all couldn't call it rape. They ain't raping none of y'all. Y'all was down. But anyway. So, yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to hear somebody heaping praise on somebody that you feel has done you wrong. But at the same time, you have to own your part in any situation that you have been in. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Can you accept that they are good to everybody except for you? Good to everybody except for you. That is tough. It is. It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation to be involved in, but these are the things that we go through in our lives. So, what up, Care Bear? Yeah. Care Bear. Yeah. Emily Dunlap in the house. Bow. She's about to turn it out. And Vita B, thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate all of y'all. And whoever comes through, I appreciate y'all too. People in the background don't want to come out now, but I see you. Yeah, we see you. You can do what you want. I don't think you will front. But, I had a conversation with somebody recently about this. What up, Carol Chamberlain, mi friend, mi favorita? I had a conversation with somebody recently about this. Like, when you're younger, your feelings are so frail. They're so fragile. It's so easy to get your feelings hurt when you're younger because your expectations are all the way up here. Movies, TV, books, and older people have you thinking that things are supposed to be a certain type of way, even if that evidence doesn't play out in front of your face. You are supposed to believe that is supposed to be one man, one woman. Loyalty is abound in all situations. Your friends are your best friends, your BFF, your besties, your best buds. Everybody is supposed to keep it 100 with each other, and as long as y'all do that, then y'all be the greatest team that ever lived. And life experience makes you come into the realization that people have agendas that are sometimes outright, and they have secret agendas, and sometimes you are a part of that and you don't even know it. You don't know about it until it's too late. And sometimes those people are you. You may not have been the type of person that was always forthcoming about what your intentions were for somebody. If you grew up in a family full of snakes, full of chess players, full of people that were always trying to get over on each other, full of people that were always playing the victim with each other and all of that, that shit is gonna cross over to you. It's impossible for it not to, because there will be no other way for you to survive in that environment. So you had to learn to cheat and lie and steal and get over and act like you didn't do nothing when you did everything. So I'm saying this to say that being a good or bad person comes in different forms. See, if you grew up around a bunch of liars and cheaters and deceptors, okay, we're gonna do that for that. Deceptive people. If you grew up around those people, then your value system is different. So you lying, cheating, getting over, stealing, and all of that is acceptable in the environment that you grew up in. The problem doesn't come until you get around a bunch of squares who always are patient and wait for the things that they get and work for the things that they get, and respect other people's property and their feelings. That's where the problem comes in, because that's not the way you were raised, even if it's in you to be that way. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I hope this doesn't get taken the wrong way. This is what I see as being the biggest problem with having multiple children by multiple baby moms or baby fathers. That's the problem, because when all of the kids are by the same parents, the DNA is the same. If they all grew up in the same house, then the values are the same. One can't say, well, this is where I came from, or this is what I do, or this is what we do. There's no foreign DNA from another dad or another mom coming into this situation where we have to mold everybody into the same form of understanding. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that having multiple children by multiple parents is wrong, but you have to understand that the problems that you're going to run into will be cultural problems, will be developmental problems, because the way that you raise each child, even though they're all in the same house, the DNA information, the hereditary information ain't the same. So the same way as you can raise raise chihuahuas around pit bulls, but a pit bull is going to be a pit bull, and a chihuahua is going to be a chihuahua. So although they will play together and they will interact with each other and they will be together amicably, a pit bull is not going to be a chihuahua. They are culturally different. They are genetically different. It's not the same. And that's the same thing with your children. So it will be much easier to raise your children with the same understandings, even if they rebel, if they are raised by the same mother. I mean, if they were born of the same mother and same father, because it's the same 46 chromosomes for both. When you have children that you're trying to put together, like blended families always have issues. They do. They always have issues. Now, you might be able to deal with those issues, but you can't deny that those issues exist, because you know that this one especially if you know the parents of the ones that you're blended. So you know that their mom is all ratchet. She ain't no damn good. She was a drug addict all her life. You know what I'm saying? She was opportunistic and all of that. Or his baby, his father in and out of jail, got a bunch of other kids all over the place, don't take care of none of them, always rejects the responsibility that they have, can't get themselves together to save their lives. I mean, you have to submit to the fact that the woman that you're dealing with was dealing with them type of niggas. Men don't be wanting to deal with that fact. Yeah, your woman was attracted to that type of nigga. Yeah, that's who she used to lay up with. She had a whole baby by him, a whole, maybe even two. Now he a bum ass nigga, whatever. But that's who she used to kick it with, and he ain't the only one. He may have been the only one that she had kids by or not, but she's prone to be attracted to that and to try to make it work with something like that, somebody like that. So those kids come from that. So no matter how you raise them on this side with these 23 chromosomes, you can best believe that those other 23 chromosomes that you don't get to see or interact with are going to come into the conversation one way or another. All right. Now, I'm saying all of that to say this. When you try to accept that somebody is a good person, even though they weren't good for you or good to you, it's going to be difficult because it's not going to make a lot of sense to you. How can they be a good person if they did me so dirty when I tried to do right by them? I get it. It's a struggle, but it's a struggle that you have to win. It's a struggle that you have to be stronger than. You have to get past them. You have to become the victor in this, because not everybody is going to gang up on a person the way that you would like them to. Not everybody is going to see the bad in a person the way that you see it. And at the end of the day, they didn't end your life, even if they tried to. Even if they literally tried to end your life, they didn't. So just like serial murderers like Ted Bundy are noted for like helping old ladies across the street and shit like that, but he's a killer. But let that old lady tell it. He was a good man and he was helpful. We know that not everybody has all bad in them and not everybody has all good in them. We're not 100% of nothing. And it's not an easy thing for us to accept all the time. So can you do it? Have you done it? Have you been forced to do it? What y'all talking about? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you have an ex that you hear nothing but good things about from other people and you like, man, if y'all only knew. Oh, if only you knew how much I do hate the shit out of you. Oh. And a lot of times you say you hate a person, you don't hate them. You know what I mean? You talking about you hate the person now that you got back with time and time again, or that you tried to work it out with time and time again before you just couldn't take it no more. And don't let it be a situation where you was gearing up to quit somebody and they quit you first. Oh God, what? How dare you? How fucking dare you? How dare you? I stood by your side through thick and thin, good and bad, sickness and health, rich or poor, and you got the nerve to clip me before I clip you? Oh, yeah, it's an ego thing, but this ain't right. You don't have a right to say you broke up with me. even though you did. I should have moved faster. The damn honey I put in here has the honeycomb in it. And you know, that shit is all wax. So I'm in here. Stacey White says, no. Well, it happens. You don't always get to strike first. When you messing around with a snake, you can mess around and get bit first. You was getting ready to cut the head off, but he bit you first. Good thing he didn't poison you with the venom. But there may have been times when you knew that you were in a bad relationship, but you did everything in your power to try to keep that thing afloat. You knew that you were in a bad job situation, but you did everything in your power to try to, keep the check coming in, to try to make the best of the situation. And the motherfuckers fucked around and laid you off. No good bastards. I can't believe it. Yeah. Can you accept that they are good to everybody except for you? The one person that they should have been the best with, the one person that they really, really should have been good to was the person that they shitted on. And that's you. You're right there. Right there. Did you dirty? Did you filthy? They have no right to do you the way that they did, but they did. So, yeah, it can be a really, really hard situation to deal with, but it is something that we have to deal with. I mean, ain't no way around it. As you learn and as you grow and as you deal with people, you're going to separate from people. You don't stay with people forever. And that's another thing that we have to deal with as we enter farther and farther and farther into adulthood. When we're younger, we are conditioned to believe that anybody who we are cool with right now, we supposed to be cool with them forever. Together forever. Together forever. We'll run DMC and we're tougher than leather. Shoot, right after high school, we see that fall apart. Certain people you was cool with in high school, you said that we will always be crew. We are always gonna be down for each other. We go together like siggity boom de boom. But you're not. People graduate from high school, some get jobs, some go to colleges, some travel the world, some go to the military. It ain't easy to keep your circle of friends from high school tight like you were in high school. But if you're smart, you start evaluating the reasons that y'all were so close in high school. Was it always grounded in positivity? Maybe yes, maybe no. From the time that I would say, listen, I'm just gonna say it from birth, probably from birth till 18. Those years are so important because you stuff so much social information in those years. And I think that those years are the years when you develop who you're going to be socially for the rest of your life. By the time you're 18, it's pretty solidified how you're going to carry on relationships. So if you were a loner then, between birth and 18, more than likely, no matter how many people you get cool with or that you meet, you will probably still be a loner at heart. And if you were the type of person that was Joe, if you were the type of person that was gregarious, if you were the type of person that was a straight social butterfly from birth to 18, that's probably who you're going to be. You will never be a loner. You will always be up in somebody's face, trying to kick it with them, build with them, forge bonds with, whether those bonds are real or fake, whatever, or just not as authentic as you would like them to be, or not as strong as you would desire. That's you. That's you. If you're a sometimey person, like you in and out, in and out, in and out, that's who you're gonna be. Now, I would appreciate it if y'all would dispute that, because I'm I'm thinking that that's how it goes. I can't say that. Many people have blossomed after high school. Or have they? Or have they? That is the question. Stacey White says, that's me, a loner, and I'm fine with it too. That's cool. That's cool. I am definitely a big fan of self-love, but I'm also a big fan of achievement, of upward mobility, of finding yourself, discovering yourself, and building yourself. I'm a big fan of that. And one thing I do know is that you can't do that in a vacuum. It's hard to be successful when you're the only one cheering yourself on, or you're the only one trying, and you're the only one paying. Don't work that way. It really, really doesn't. It doesn't. So, self-discovery, listening to somebody praise your ex who cheated on you, who lied to you, and all of that. Sometimes you have to think to yourself, all right, they cheated and lied, but what did they really do to me? Now I know this is not easy for a lot of people to listen to or rationalize, because our possessiveness is off the charts. That's my man. That's my girl. Mine. Mine. You're supposed to be here with me, taking care of me, worried about me, have your eyes on me. We do that. But when you say it outright, you know, when you actually verbalize this shit, it sounds okay. It sounds selfish, self-centered, egotistical, and almost ridiculous. If somebody cheats on you, hopefully they didn't do anything like give you a disease or a condition, or put you in a position where you had to take care of a child that wasn't yours, because that makes it more extreme. But other than that, somebody cheated on you, they basically did what they wanted to do. But somehow we take that personally as hell. If you play basketball with somebody and y'all play basketball with each other all the time, and they play basketball with somebody else, would you be pissed? Some people honestly would. Like, why you playing with them? Jealousy knows no logic. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's okay to cheat on a person, and I'm not saying that you should blow off being cheated on. But what I am saying, or what I'm asking is, what effect does it really have on you? What effect on you did it really have? When you really break it down, to say somebody is a bad person because they cheated on you, I don't know. For me, it's not passing the smell test. Like you might have felt you might have fed 1,000 homeless people, but you cheated on your girl. Everybody is going to judge that differently. To the community, To the community, you're a hero. To your girl or your wife or your man or your husband, you ain't nothing but a philanderer. You a cheater. But are you a bad person? Accepting that somebody who cheats on you is not a bad person. I've heard people admit it, like such and such is a bad boyfriend, but they are a good man. I've actually heard women say that. He ain't a good, he's not a, he's not a good man for a woman. He's not faithful, but he's a good man otherwise. He's a good father. He's definitely that. He's a good father. Now I've also heard women lie and say that a man wasn't a good father when he was. And why did she say he wasn't a good father? Because he didn't want to be a man. He didn't want to be her man. So she tried to keep them together, and he refused to do it. So now she's using the kids as a weapon against him. No, he ain't no good father. That's why I have to raise his child support. That's why I had to call child support on him. That's why I had to do it. That's why I had to. Shout out to the women who go straight to child support when they find out that their baby father got another baby on the way. Oh no, this baby gonna be cutting into my baby's funds. It's the most selfish shit I ever heard. But try to tell that to the baby moms who do that shit. I'm gonna go secure the bag for mine. I'm gonna go secure the bag for mine. Crazy. Stacey White says, when you've been crossed by snakes, you have no other choice. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to not have any other choice. I know what it's like to say it, though. Care Bear says, feelings of abandonment creep up, too. Sure do. When somebody cheats on you. It sure does. Stacey White says, I try my best not to walk in my parents' footsteps that they messed up. Yeah, but you weren't there when your parents were young, so you don't really know. But this is a reason why it's good to get to know your parents, because you are them. They are you. Stacey White says, you have to get those issues right. That's behind the same. That's behind the. Care Bear says, a good partner and a good parent don't always go hand in hand. Facts there. And here's the thing. They might not be a good partner to you, but in your mind, you might actually hope that they never become a good partner to anybody else, because deep down inside, you don't want anybody else to not go through what you've been. How's that? And that's when we have to start really looking at ourselves and checking ourselves. Like, how dare he do me dirty, but do the next woman good? So you want her to be done dirty too? You don't want no improvement, huh? So, Hurricane Katrina wiped out New Orleans, then it should wipe out Baton Rouge and Shreveport too. Don't just do that. Don't just do that to the Nolia. New Orleans. Magnolia is just a project in New Orleans. The NO. Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes it's hard to escape that thinking. But we should try. We should at least try. Yeah. Like, he used to whoop my ass, but now he treat her nice. Deep down inside, you hope that he whoop her ass too, huh? I ain't mean to take all these ass whoopings so nobody else would have to. Why'd I have to get sacrificed? Stacey White says you could be a good person in public, but behind the scenes, there are this heart thing is in the way. There are, I don't know, maybe horrible, and you have to get those things right. Good and bad is subjective. And that's why we're talking about what we're talking about today. Good and bad is subjective. What is good and bad? Are we talking about morality? Are we talking about what's good and bad biblically? Like the Bible says that you can do this, and it says that you can't do that. So it says good is this and bad is that. Well, even the Bible is very contradictory. I mean, why so many people in the Bible get drunk all the time? What is that? What's up with all the getting drunk in the Bible? That's how you know Europeans wrote that shit. Like, come on, man. Substance abuse. Stacey says, where's the integrity nowadays? Yeah. So what's good for you might be good for others, and it might not. It might not be so great for others. Like I said, if you was raised around liars and cheaters and thieves and abusers and violent people, your value system is going to be a lot different, and your modes of survival is going to be a lot different. Think about how many people you know talk about how there were no open displays of affection in their families. My family just wasn't like that. We didn't hug. We didn't kiss each other. We didn't, kiss each other goodbye and tell each other that we missed each other and that we loved each other. I wasn't raised that way. I know a lot of families that were like that. And I've met a lot of people over the years who told me that they had to get used to that. When they got with somebody who told them that they loved them all the time and that they missed them, and that they cared about them, and that, they really wanted to be around them. People who hug and touch. Shoot. Even back rubs, massages and shit. Rub your temples. Like, there are plenty of people who grew up that don't know nothing about that. And they might have come from big families. So you come from this big ass family, nobody hugged, nobody kissed each other goodbye, nobody told each other that they missed them, nobody was happy when each other came back. It happens. It happens. The dynamics of that family were different. You get with somebody who shows you a totally different way, you have to adjust to that. You have to get used to that. It's not an easy adjustment. That can be really difficult for you. The rapper Remy Ma, she has a very public marriage, romance, and love affair going on with her husband Papoose. And Remy said it was really hard for her to get used to being with Papoose because he came from a family that reinforced their love and trust in each other. She didn't understand that. She didn't come from that. She didn't come from a family that told each other that they loved them, that they hugged each other, told them that they cared about each other, supported each other, helped each other. So that she admitted, she said, I had to get used to that. It took a while. She said it took a while for her to get used to that because she was used to fighting for her position and fighting to stay alive within a family. She wasn't used to no decency. She wasn't used to any decency. So, I mean, imagine that. Because she didn't have to be forthcoming about that. And when you really think about it, you know, she spent years in jail for shooting her friend that she tried to deny. But her saying what she said about how she had to get used to Papoose, who waited for her and stayed faithful and loyal to her while she was in jail, you know, that's something that they say men don't do. And he did that. But to hear her deny that she shot her friend, she denies that she shot her at all. You know, she was lying. The judge knew she was lying. The jury knew that she was lying. The state of New York knew she was lying. All the witnesses who watched her shoot her friend knew she was lying. But she came from a family where lying to get out of trouble was more than acceptable. So she gets with this man who had to show her a different way of life. Like, nah, we don't. First of all, we don't treat each other that way. We don't steal from each other, and we don't retaliate against each other violently, even if we have a situation going on. We don't do that. It's a lot that went into that, and I'm only pointing out that situation because I actually heard the interview where she was explaining this, and it got me to thinking about her situation. I thought it was interesting. But her example is not so different from many other examples that I'm familiar with. Personally, I've known people who grew up in households similar to hers. No open displays of affection, no no parents telling the kids that they love them, supporting them, telling them that they're proud of them, encouraging them to be the best that they can, telling them that they can be the best and that they are the best, telling them that they're special. I've seen that. It's not a hard thing to come in contact with. There's a lot of that shit. So when we talk about trying to accept that they are good to everybody except for you, there can be reasons for that. There can be reasons that we feel that's the way that it is, whether it is that way or not. The way that we feel, our perception of things is real enough for us. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. The way that we feel about things is good enough for us, and it should be. But we also have to accept that the way that we feel about things isn't always the truth. It isn't always the fact. It isn't always exactly the way that we have said that it is. It's not always, not always, not always, not always, not always, not always. So can you accept it? I've had to do it. I've had to do it many times in my life. I have had to submit to the fact that people were good people even if they weren't good to me. I made it easier for myself by saying, okay, you may be a good person to everybody, but not a good person to me. But I'm not going to obligate myself to make you be good to me. I'm going to let you be good to everybody else and good for everybody else. But I'm going to make sure that I steer clear of you while you are good for everybody else, good to everybody else. I don't have to bear witness to that. And I'm not going to. I'm going to holler back. I am going to holler back. I'm not fucking with you. See, that's the thing about it. We get into thinking that we have to experience the good that somebody has in them. No, we don't. We have to find our best way. We got to find our way around these parts. Yep. We got to find our way around these parts. And we will. We shall. We need to. But before we can experience anything decent in life, we have to change what's going on inside of us. And we can't change what's going on inside of us if we're waiting for everybody else to change the way they are outside of us. Because what goes on outside of us isn't anything that we can control, but we can learn to control what's going on inside of us. But we can't do it holding on to everything that we feel like was hurting us or was wronging us or was doing bad to us. Can't do it. And I'm talking about the real change. I'm not talking about just changing your mindset to say something. It doesn't hurt you. That really does. I know people believe in that kind of stuff, but I don't. I'm not going to act like something doesn't affect me when it really does, or act like something doesn't hurt. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, your mind can do anything. Anything you set your mind to, it can be real. Like it can be real in your mind. How about letting your mind change what's inside of you? It ain't gonna change nothing else outside of here. And I think that's sometimes a lesson that we miss. We're about to do these birthday shout outs. Yes, yes, yes. I want to thank y'all for finding this show again after we, got the first one messed up. Appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow too, 1:00. All right, so let's do it. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious September 16th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Gwen Plater, turning 66 years old today. And also Shonda Janine, turning 47 years old today. And Brandy Jones Wilson, definitely a supporter of the Daily Go-Getterism, turning 44 years old today. You do the damn thing. And also Tashana Green, turning 53 years old today. And Talisa Jones Smith, happy birthday to you. And Wakila Hurd, turning 42 years old today. And Dana Lucas, turning 51 years old today. And go-getter Timothy Dwayne Johnson, turning 40 years old today. And Prince Muhammad L, turning 57 years old today. And comedian Chase Lamar Smith, happy birthday to you. And Juanito George, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, but first on my list, my uncle, my wonderful uncle, Willie Gaines, turning 85 years. 85 years. 85 years. He outlived my dad. It's crazy. He's sort of like my dad, and he came to visit my mom this year, this spring, and I'm glad that the love he brings was very therapeutic for her. Happy birthday, Unc. But actually, he wasn't the last but least. The absolute last but least is my old high school friend, turning 52 years old today, Sonia Small. Happy birthday to you, Mom. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious September 16th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock, do the damn, the rock out. rock on it, do the damn rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember. The world that you can change is the world inside of you. You're not going to physically change the world around you, but you can change how you feel about the world around you from the inside. So when we talk about accepting that somebody is good to everybody except for you, let your exception not be a source of frustration for you, but let your exception be the reason that you search for better for yourself, for you and yours, for you and what's left of you when somebody else is through with you. And you can make yourself through with them. And I suggest you might do that. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. for another Urban Therapy with Sun show. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. So, Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. 1, 2, on the other side. See you. Other side.